Here is a great orator, Shri Tarun Goswami, our lovely Tarun. He will just let us know about the challenges and opportunities for the students of 21st century. And after he says, if you have any question, you can pass it on to the volunteer of the Vidyapith. Thank you. Tarun.
Most revered Swami Vivekananda Maharaj, General Secretary Ramakrishna Math and Mission, most revered Swami Suparnananda Maharaj, most revered Swami Shantapananda Maharaj, most revered Swami Bhaktisharananda Maharaj, most revered Swami Shastrakananda Maharaj, respected monks and brahmacharis of the order, distinguished guests, and my young friends. The Western psychologists say that we all suffer from a peculiar disease. It is called SAS, Short Attention Syndrome. We can't sit quietly and listen. So there is a proposal to reduce the timing of football matches. Instead of 45 minutes and 45 minutes and 10 minutes recess, the experts propose that it has to be 20 minutes and 20 minutes, 2 halves and 5 minutes recess. Rest assured, I will be finishing within stipulated time. But before I start my speech on challenges and opportunities for the students in the 21st century, let me start with 2 personal notes. Swami Lokeshwarananda, I was very close to him. He was a brahmachari here, Brahmachari Shuddha Chaitanya, in the early 1930s. Against he was the headmaster in 40s, between 1943 and 45. From him, I heard many stories of the initial years of Deoghar Mission, Deoghar Vidyapith. So before I start, I pay my respect to Maharaj. And the second thing is, we used to come to Deoghar every year. And we used to put up at Hotel Dreamland, which was situated right opposite the ashram. When Vivekananda was the secretary of this institution for more than a decade, he took this painstaking work to bring all the properties under Ramakrishna Mission. The old structures were pulled down and the last 2 sections were coming up. I personally believe that it is a major work in the history of Ramakrishna Math and Mission. Since Maharaj is here, I offer my pronoun, and because of his painstaking work, this institution is now enjoying an important role in the academic history of the country. Challenges and opportunities. Challenges are many, opportunities are equally many. I am talking about the challenges. Swamiji said, "Oh India, this is your terrible danger. The spell of imitating the West is getting such a hold upon you that what is good or what is bad is no longer decided by Shastras. What the white people praise or like are good, and what they censor or dislike are bad. Alas, what can be a more tangible proof of foolishness than this? We always try to copy the Westerners, completely forgetting that Western world is following our Vedanta. A new concept has come in the West. It is called attire perfection, attire rationing. And Western, those who are engaged in fashion industry, they are quoting 2 people. One is Mahatma Gandhi, the other is Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda used to put on that saffron colored garment, but because of his tremendous personality, he could sail through. So people are saying in the West that don't buy clothes which you won't use. There was a time when people used to buy clothes. If you go to Hyderabad, there is a wardrobe of Nizam of Hyderabad covering area of 10,000 square feet, where his attires have been put on exhibition. These days, the theory is buy as little clothes as possible. Bill Gates, he never buys costly clothes. He always uses second-hand clothes. In Kolkata, in Newtown, a shop has come up where people go, give their old clothes, those clothes are repaired and they are sold. So this entire rationing, Vivekananda is a key person. How the Western world is following us. My teacher, Abhindam Chakraborty, he had been to the New York Center, Vedanta Center of Ramakrishna Mission, where Swami Sargopriyanandaji is associated with. The Sargopriyanandaji takes a stroll on the central part, situated next to the New York Center every evening, to work with Swamiji. People registered their names. 15 people registered their names. They take a stroll with Maharaj, and during that 1 hour time, they ask questions on Vedanta. There is another monk of the Ramakrishna order, Tarun Maharaj, Swami Vivekananda. His book on Vedanta has become immensely popular in the West. Abhindam Chakraborty, my teacher, he told me that Tarun Maharaj, his brain is so fertile, and Sargopriyanandaji has become a cult figure in the West. Young boys and girls, they run after Maharaj just to listen to him, just to listen to his speeches on Vedanta. So Vedanta is coming up very fast in the West. Swamiji had said this in 1897. I referred to 3 of his lectures after he came back from the West. Those lectures will be included in the famous book, Lectures from Tarun to Almora. After he came back from the West, in a lecture, Future of India, Swamiji said, let your motherland be your God for the next 50 years. All other gods are sleeping. One God is alive, your own country. His ears and legs are present everywhere. A peculiar statement made by a monk, remember, for the next 50 years, let your motherland be your only God. And there Swamiji said that we must set up an institution where people should go out to preach. After Swamiji delivered his Chicago lecture, he wrote a letter to Raja P.R. Mukhopadhyay, Raja of Uttarpara. There he said, expansion is life, contraction is death. Love is expansion, selfishness is contraction. So love your fellow man because that is the law of life. Then Swamiji wrote, those who go out, they do enormous good to the country. While in England in 1895, Swamiji said, had I been a moneyed man, I could have brought all of you to show the Western Hemisphere. Just think of a boy of 32 years of age. He was telling that his gurus who were in Kolkata. Had he been a moneyed man, he could have taken them to the West to see the changes that are being taking place. And Swamiji was the first person to recognize that Indian philosophy, Indian culture will ultimately invade the world. Western world has understood that unless spirituality is there, this artificial civilization will not last long. Swamiji wrote his last letter to Nancy Hansbrook, and there he said that if Japan doesn't add spirituality, I do not know what will be the future of Japan. Japan is most advanced technologically, but the suicide rate is highest. Unfortunately, in India, a thin section of youngsters, they are running after this material prosperity. They are more interested in branded shirts and trousers and goggles and shoes. They are more interested in newer and newer models of cell phones. Whereas our culture is that you must give up. You must use only those little things that are essential for you. So things are changing very fast. In the West, they are learning Vedanta. In the West, they have started sacrificing their lives for others. A lady who frequently visits the Western Hemisphere told me a few days back that earlier when retreats were held, they used to attend yoga classes. Yoga in the West earlier was meant for physical fitness. Nowadays, with yoga classes, meditation classes are regularly held. And the Western Hemisphere, they are giving a scientific approach to meditation. Because they believe that unless you meditate, you cannot survive in this torture and uncertain world. A few days back, at the funeral of Queen Elizabeth II, we have all heard how English boys and girls, they chanted from the Upanishads, chanting. They chanted. It has become viral and many people have seen this in social media. So they are chanting. In England, in 125 schools, a famous report of Sati Chaturvedi, the second language is Sanskrit. Unfortunately, in India, we do not follow Sanskrit. Unfortunately, in India, we do not follow our own culture. It's very unfortunate that we have forgotten to touch the feet of the seniors because we think that the trash of the Western civilization will help us grow. We will not, we trust. Those who are following Western education blindly, rest assured that your days are numbered. Plato used to say, imitation is a beggar, wedded to a beggar and producing beggar offspring. So if you imitate the West, you are nothing but a beggar, and the beggar dies a natural death, but very unfortunate death he or she faces. About challenges, about opportunities, there are plenty of opportunities. Swamiji was the first person to talk about startups. Though he didn't mention this word startup, he said that we need those businessmen who will not look after their profit only, and their duty will be to showcase the products made by our artisans. In 1893, when he was in Chicago, he visited the International Fair. Again in 1900, when he was in Paris Congress, he used to go to the fair regularly. In 1895, when his brother Noendranath Datta and Swami Sharodananda were in England, he asked both of them to go to the fair because Swamiji believed that in the fairs, Indian products could be showcased and it could get international market. He told his very close disciple, Shishya Sharatchandra Chakraborty, that go and sell Banarasi saris in the West because the women are interested to make gowns out of them. And then he said that if you are born, then you should leave a deep mark. So things are changing. Startups are very important. In India, we have tremendously rich folk culture, and there are startups that are highlighting the folk culture. They are being sold outside, and the artists are getting their due. Earlier, the middlemen used to get the money, but now the artisans are getting the money, and they are into newer and newer venture. In Western Midnapur, there is a place called Noya Pingla, where you get Potochitros. The Potochitris are all Muslims, and what they make is essentially Hindu gods and goddesses. These Potochitros are immensely popular in the West, and scholars from Germany and Italy, they have come to Western Midnapur in Ghatal to see how they make these Potochitros. So India, Swamiji believed that we will show the way in next century. He said that India will arise, India will shine, not with the power, good power, but with the power of conscience. This is India's beauty, that with the power of love, with the power of conscience, India will change the world. In 1955, after the Second World War, Russell and Einstein, they prepared a charter which was supplied to all the leaders of the country. There they said that there is an artist in every one of us. Let him loose to spread joy everywhere. Now India has recognized this artist. India has recognized our inner power. Those who are present here, my young friends, you should remember one thing. Ramakrishna Mission does not control armies of treasuries. We have no state power. we depend on the conscience of people, particularly the youth, to decide a question whether poor people in India should be abandoned in absolute silence or allowed the elementary right of their plight being presented before the conscience of mankind. Those who want to work for the poor, those who want to elevate the standard of the poor, should come forward and set up startups. You should always think of doing business. Adani and Ambani, they are not all. You should start doing business. You should open a startup and see how things move. And self-help groups are there. Try to get as many people as possible, particularly women, particularly the women artisans. And in few years' time, the economic condition of the country will change completely. With these few words, I take a leave. I again offer my pranams to the monks of the Ramakrishna order and my respect to the distinguished guests and my love and sincere wishes to the young boys and girls. Thank you.
Thank you, Shri Goswami, for your spellbinding talk. And you have rightly pointed out, the West is now looking forward to the East, to be specific India, for their spiritual sustenance, for their sustenance, total. And it would be foolish on our part to go for the thrown away things, immaterial things. So the choice is yours. He has rightly pointed it out.